What is the term ghetto and what is considered ghetto?
Do you see a difference between black and African?
Why is the term nigga used more than the word nigger when it has the same meaning?
What are you afraid of?
When you meet a black or African person, don't go off the assumptions that you see about them. Like, take the time to get to know them, because everyone has a different struggle and everyone goes through different things. And just because one black person may dress better than the other doesn't mean one is wealthier than the other, you know? Like, take the time to like really know the person and understand them, and don't just like alienate them, because a lot of people seem to like have like this thought like, oh, black people are mean or black people are dangerous and Africans are this, Africans are that. Like, I feel like you should just honestly like take the time to get to know the person if you really wanted to. Like, and even if you don't, just don't go and say stupid things about them, you know?
I can tell when my teacher, like, she tries to tell me and the other minorities that are in the middle of the class to quit talking a lot, but she doesn't want to tell other kids to quit talking. Or, like, my teachers are quick to, like, kick us out of class, like, if you, like, mess up or if you, like, talk back. And, like, with us, they like to make sure it's all business and make sure we're only doing our work. But then when it's with another kid who's a different race, they're just over there. The teacher is with the kid talking, when she was just telling us to quit talking and we need to be doing work. But what she's with other kids having a blast, and it just don't make no sense. Like, you can feel it. If you're spiritually enlightened, you feel it.
For example, I would be assigned in groups where they'd have easier books, and then there'd be kids where they'd have the harder book. But I will always tell my teacher, I'm just like, I don't want to read that book. I want to read the harder book. My teacher would be like, I don't think that you want to. Like, this book's easier for you. And I'm just like, I think I can do it. Like, I'm not stupid.
Yes, I do feel like I'm treated differently at school. First off, I'm a female. Second off, I'm African American. Third, I'm a Muslim. So that on top just kind of like is like, because when people think of like Muslims, they think, oh, terrorists or like all these crazy things, and it's like, we're not that. And especially since I'm African American, it makes it harder, you know, because I'm like, teachers and like students don't see me as like academically smart or intellectual as a white person. So, like, that kind of sucks, because it's like, no, I'm way more better than that. I'm way more smart. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, like when I go to the corner store every once in a while, the guy, he'll kind of, like, watch me more. I actually don't say that a lot. Like, he'll kind of, like, follow me around the store. See him, it's the only thing, but, like, I don't. I'm going to buy something. But, like, when the white boy goes in, he just lets him go. And he might have stole something. You never know.
Faculty-wise, teacher-wise, I don't feel that I do, because I think that they understand just as much as I do how diverse the school is. So they know not to put that boundary there to look at me differently because of my race. Now, students-wise, I feel that everybody has a little bit of racism in them, and everybody has stereotypes for any kind of race. So I know that I'm definitely looked at differently, but I've accepted it.
But that's what people think is really weird about me, because they don't know really what to think about me, so they consider me different, and they don't take the time to understand what I am.
I use ratchet a lot. I don't know why. Is this because everyone uses it? That's the honest truth. I'm trying to stop. It's like an addiction. I'm trying not to use ratchet anymore. So, yeah, they use it towards, I don't think it, well, yeah, I think it was towards like, females, and black females. Yes, they call them ratchet a lot. And, people don't think it's inappropriate. People don't think it's disrespectful because it's like the new word. So
when somebody says ratchet, it's like, God, dude, seriously, can you like make up another word or something like that? I mean, come on. it doesn't sound like really cool or anything. Well, it just seems like a lot of people that I've heard been called ratchet have been considered to be a little bit less than other people, and considered to be like lesser from like them having like lesser clothes, like they supposedly bought them at Goodwill instead of like some pretty cool place like Nordstrom or something. And then also it's like, or if they're different, such as like from a white person and then from a black person be considered ratchet and the white person be considered something cooler or something like that, which is kind of sad.
Loud, obnoxious.
Ratchet. To me, a ratchet person is just like someone who doesn't respect themselves, who just throws themselves out there and doesn't care about anything, and like basically just. But okay, one thing I would want to say about a ratchet person is that they don't have to be black. People always assume that a ratchet person is black. No, ratchet person could be white, Asian, African, any race. That's one thing I would say about that term, about ratchet.
No, because some of them need to be called that. Because like some of them be running down the halls or talking during like just yelling and stuff.
Yes, because they think that a lot of people think that ratchet represents somebody who's loud, who speaks their mind, and I'm considered ratchet because I'm loud and I speak my mind, and so there's a lot of people who are like me, so then people just consider that ratchet, so they, throw that word around, but ratchet is just like not considered, like, I don't know, people just use it unnecessarily.
People don't even understand what the word means. They just throw it out because they want to be funny or they're trying to fit in. Like, being ratchet, I don't even like the word ratchet. I don't even use it myself, but it's just ignorant. Like, they don't act ratchet. They're just being themselves, whether that's loud, obnoxious, however you want to call it. There's other people who are obnoxious or ratchet in this case, but they don't like to say anything to them. Just another way to slander a person.
Yes, I really do. It's stupid because, like, if you were to look at a black girl and people would just assume, like, oh, she's ratchet, just, like, by the way she dresses or the way she talks. And it's, like, you really can't say somebody's ratchet until, like, you know them personally. Like, I feel like it's a personal thing. Like, just because, oh, they look a certain way or they talk a certain way doesn't make them ratchet.
Honestly, like nigga, they're the same word, but I feel like people say like nigger. It sounds like it's like a little more harsh, but same with nigga, like it's still bad, but it's not like as bad, you know.
I think that nigger was used so harshly, and I feel I could put out a stereotypes on blacks that we kind of just try and make the better out of everything. We try and make terrible places that we're put in and all of that good stuff and try and form it into something good. So I think that's what they kind of tried to do with the word. They tried to make nigger this terrible, evil, meaning word and change it into something kind of not as bad. And then kind of change it to something that you should have pride in. Like, you should have pride to be a nigga, which I know that everybody has their different outlook on it, but yeah, I guess it's just as bad as calling someone a nigger, but I don't feel that anybody that is outside of black and outside of that kind of race, and I've had to feel the hurt and the disrespect that our ancestors have felt from that word, I don't feel like they're allowed to use it.
I see people using too much around here, especially white people. They don't have the right to use it because they didn't go through that situation. And since our ancestors go through that situation, we have the right to use it. But not in school, but like not even like not around too, but just like in a like everyone like talking trash to each other.
People are ignorant. That's all it really is. Because if they understood what the words meant, then they wouldn't use it. Like, that's why I try not to use it as much. As much as we like to use it, we just have to find a word to substitute it. but we just use it because we're ignorant and we think it's okay. It's just another way of us showing that we don't have a vocabulary. We have to say, hey, nigga, or nigga, shut that up. We're always saying nigga, nigger, but what they don't understand is it's still degrading someone. Even if it doesn't affect you, it's still degrading. Or if you're saying around a businessman, why would he take you who's speaking nigga this, nigga that, when there's another person who speaks proper English and could probably make him more money? Like, it just doesn't work like that. But I feel like it's rude because there's other races who think it's okay to say nigga, and it's not. Like, to me, if you grew up in a struggle of a black person, if you're black and you grew up in the struggle, it's acceptable to say nigga. But if you're not black, it's really not. Just like how there's words that a Hispanic person might call a Hispanic person. You wouldn't want a black person to say that. I know there's words. I just don't know what they are. Or, you know, it's almost like if another person calls me a nigga, that's like me calling a Hispanic a wetback or a white person a cracker.
From one teacher I know, just would say take the hate out of the word, just to bring a little bit more of a vibe, and it's kind of like something that we have as black people or something like that, just to call each other nigga and be like, what's good nigga, what's going on? But when like a white person says nigger to me, I feel a little bit more disrespected and a little bit more aggressive against them, because I don't like being treated differently just because of who I am.
Because nigga with the A is used as like my homie, friend, or like used with your friends in a friendly way.
It all started when Tupac said it was okay. And from that point forward, people were like, oh, like, it's a term of endearment. But no, like, I honestly hate when people call me nigga, and I tell them, like, don't call me that. Like, I have a name I was given. Call me that instead.
Me being African American, there are a lot of stereotypes getting like thrown at me, that I'm supposed to be loud and ghetto and just obnoxious and just, I don't know, just out there and just always getting into trouble. Like that's what I see. And I even hear that from just like the black girls, you know, just in general, just like, Kiera, you're too white.
Sadly, yes, because I feel like a lot of African American males nowadays are like seen as thugs a lot. And that kind of like makes us look bad. It's not really good for us, but honestly, I feel like we have to like do like more to prove a point. Like you have to be like successful and like go out there and actually do something we want.
I'm the same as everybody else. I just know that I'm gonna be successful.
To white stereotypic people, I don't want to like prove their stereotypes right, like their black people are loud and obnoxious, so I try not to be loud and obnoxious.
Actually, sometimes yes, because there is like a certain style that black youth like kind of wear, or the way that they just kind of dress themselves up or whatever. So if I wear something that's kind of like not black, they kind of make fun of me and kind of look at me like, oh, like what is he wearing? I feel that I have to kind of dress like I'm kind of thug-like, or talk like I'm just kind of ignorant, and just kind of act out in a way that would show that I'm like rebellious. So I feel like a lot of black teenagers feel like they kind of have to be rebellious.
There's many stereotypes that I could possibly not even hear about. Knowing that, I guess one to embrace is that blacks are really good athletes. I guess that's a good one because I'm a basketball player, but it's also a hard one. I have to like try and be amazing at my sport, and if I'm not, then I'm just a terrible black person or something like that. In the beginning I didn't, but coming to self I definitely did. Just people making it as if there is a difference. I definitely feel that dark-skinned girls are learned to be not as appreciated, I guess I could say, as light-skinned girls. I feel that we've come too far to still give a crap about skin color.
Do I feel separated by light skins, dark skins? Yeah. No, because at the end of the day, we're all black, regardless. We're all African American.
That I just hate that whole thing. Just I even though I make jokes about it, like, oh, you're such a light skin, you're such a dark skin, like it's way more deeper than that. Like I feel like that was just the whole thing was created by it's black people in general. Like I feel like that sucks because we separated ourselves into two categories that other people would want us to be in, like for them to feel more comfortable, like just because they're a lighter shade they're more white, or like, and just because they're darker they're more African. And it just sucks because like people actually beef about that kind of stuff, and it's stupid because like, okay, it was all a joke now, but like at the end of the day people actually really get hurt by that because some people are just like, oh, I'm not gonna date you because you're a dark skin, or I'm not gonna date you because you're light skin, and it's stupid, in my opinion.
Light skinned people be trying to act better. See, that's what the media does, though. They made it to where they try to make people act better than another race, but in all actuality, we're all the same thing. Like, I feel the same. I feel better than. Well, since we're all the same, like I don't feel better, but personally, like I feel better at home, not at home, but in myself, knowing that I don't let that stuff dictate how I act or how I think or how I do certain things around certain people. That's not cool. I feel like it's really stupid and ignorant and separated a lot of people because that stuff was serious. Like that was a big talk for a while.
I'm mixed with white, so I guess that would make me kind of light. If you think about it, say it was a time when segregation was going on, I'd still have to use a black fountain. So it doesn't really make me any different.
I think that we're all the same, and I don't get why lighter is pure or more intelligent or better than someone that's dark. And it's sad because little kids grow up thinking like this ideology in their head, just thinking that lighter is better. And I don't know if you guys seen that blue-eyed doll, the little white doll, and then all the little black kids in like this video, they all chose the white doll over the dark-skinned doll because they thought that that doll was nicer or that doll was prettier. And I was like thinking, that's your skin color. And it's sad that those little kids, those little 5-year-old, 3-year-olds think that their own skin color is not beautiful. So, yeah.
Not much. One difference I do see is our culture. Like, we're all from the same place at the end of the day, but I would say culture-wise we're different because of like the foods we eat, the way we dress, the language we speak. I think that's a few differences, but like where we originally came from is not different, and that's something that we all like can connect to.
If you think about it, our ancestors, they went through the same way. If you think where black people came from, they came from Africans. So that means like there's pretty much no difference.
The term ghetto, I would say, well, to be honest, if you want to get like really into it, it's actually not used towards African Americans. It's mainly used towards Jews back in the day when they were living in the internment camps. That was considered ghetto. But now, I guess, since people think that so like a lot of African Americans like live in like impoverished areas, and because they don't have the money or whatever, it's considered ghetto. Or if you do certain things, it's considered ghetto. But like to me, ghetto is like if like you're just living rough, like you just don't got it all.
I feel home in the ghetto. That's weird for some people. Like, a lot of people just think something that's messed up is ghetto. Like, this girl tried to say, since her charger was broken, it's ghetto. I was like, what happened to your charger? She was like, I don't know, it's hella ghetto. Like, they don't know about the ghetto. Like, no one really knows about the ghetto out here. Everyone is not like someone who grew up in the hood or in the ghetto. Ghetto, it's where life happens, where the poor live, and where a lot of people don't make it out of, and where life actually occurs, where you have to fend for yourself, learn to survive. You learn things that you're not supposed to learn at an early age. You learn faster, and it's a place where a lot of people don't like to go. But like I said, I feel at home in the ghetto.
Ghetto. I think that people nowadays have many different definitions of ghetto. It can be the way somebody dressed, the way somebody talks. But I think that ghetto doesn't necessarily describe the outward appearance. It is like where you come from. So, yeah.
Obviously, used out of context. A ghetto is where like Jews were placed by Hitler, and like that's not the case now. And I feel like ghetto is that idea of like acting rebellious and just like being like out of term, just swearing, just basically acting a fool.
I think of just someone with low class. Doesn't matter what their race is, doesn't matter where they came from, doesn't matter who they know. I consider someone who is low class as ghetto.
A ghetto is like someone that doesn't have a place to live, like garbage person. So yeah, other than that, I don't have my own definition. That's all I had about ghetto.
Everybody says the word ghetto is like all the kids, they all say it. And it's disrespectful, but it's used so much. That's what's the hard part, is that things are disrespectful, but they're used so much, it's normal.
I'm afraid I'm gonna get accused of something that I didn't do.
I'm afraid of not doing the best that I can to put on a positive role model for my brothers and doing good for my family. That's not what I'm afraid. I'm just afraid of my brothers doing things that I had to go through.
Well, I'm afraid of a lot of things, but like specifically in this topic, like you're black, so you can't get this, or you're black, so you can't do this. You know, like I don't want to be that person, and like in that person's position where I'm avoided from something that I wanted to do or something.
I'm afraid of being considered, of being alienated.
Being stereotyped. Being judged. When the person like doesn't know me.
Honestly, probably failure. I think I'm definitely afraid of failure. Just because a lot of people know who I am and where I've came, and so I feel a lot more strongly judged by people. It's okay as a black person to be smart and look smart and sound smart. No one is gonna make fun of you for being smart. And if they do, then you know that you're doing something right, and it's just important to stand tall and make something of yourself.
I am proud to be black because I honestly, like, for an example, I wouldn't want to be white because it's just like boring. Black, you have so much culture and so much like ethnicity to you, and it's like a uniqueness of being African American, and you come with so many traits. Like you come with like skin colors, pretty hair, eyes, attitude, body. Like, and compared to a lot of other races, you just don't get that. So I'm pro-black. I guess I would say that if you're African American, you should be proud for who you are and what God made you as, and don't ever try to be someone else just because other people say it's the right way of being. Like, yeah. So, yeah.
Black is where it's at. Because there's so much that we don't know. And it's like the more you learn, the better you feel about yourself every time. So if you don't know much and you feel good about yourself, you're just going to feel uber good every time you learn. And there's so much to learn. So then when you start to learn and you understand these things and then you can speak upon it, people are going to look at you different. Some you might gain friends, you might lose some friends, but that's your lane narrowing down, which is good though. But I think it's going to be black because a lot of black people don't know we used to be pharaohs, kings. Like, we weren't just slaves. Like, that's all they just teach us in school. Am I allowed to say whatever I want to say on here?
Yes, you can.
Oh, yeah. So, whoever watches this, if you guys could talk to the people who teach us in school, learning slavery and MLK over and over is really boring. I think we should learn about the Black Wall Street, the Black Holocaust, and, back when we were pharaohs, when we were living in Egypt. And you guys should tell us how they knocked off the nose of the Sphinx because it was too easy to understand who it was by the nose because it had a black person nose. But teach like real history. Like, these guys teach us bull crap all the time. And they just think no one understands it. Like, they're teaching kids now that the slaves wanted to come to America. That's what my homeboy said his brother told him in school. Like, that's ignorant. Like, they're not bringing black people up. Like, they only show when we were slaves all the bad things that happen. They don't show good things, except for the roaring 20s and the 30s and the 40s, because that's when jazz came out. That's the only thing America really has. Everything else, they stole it from someone else. What was the question?
The question was, are you proud to be black?
Oh, yeah, I'm proud to be black. I love black people. We're so beautiful.
I'm proud to be black because that's what I am, and I can't avoid that because it's in my blood, and I'm black. So I mean, I want to say, like, if like you're black, don't change yourself to be like unblack, because that's who you are and that's what you should be thinking and be proud of.
Because I think that, to me, being black is like, I don't know, I think black is like a powerful race.
Sometimes.
Why?
Because when I first came here, I was described as ratchet because of my color. And to be honest, ratchet, I don't even know what that is. In the dictionary, it's a tool used for tightening wheels. So I don't know where people get ratchet as ghetto from. So I'm proud to be black because of my ancestors. But when I'm described as being ratchet or ghetto, I'm not proud to be black.
I'm here now and I am successful.
I do feel pride in my race. It definitely took me a while to find that pride, but now that I'm older and I understand what I want to do with my life, there's definitely pride in my race. To have pride in who you are. That's all that I have to say. I feel that blacks are hit with many different evil stereotypes, and just be true to who you are.
Well, very much. I like it. I mean, it's just the way we are, the way we were born. God this what God made us, so I'm not scared.
Yeah, I'm proud of being African American, black person. Also, I don't always like to call myself just black because I'm not. Everyone thinks, oh, you're just black. But no, I'm not. Like, my family's Creole, so I'm not just black. Yeah. So I'm proud to be black and Creole.